the Sounds of Stadia podcast live for episode 106. You're joining myself, Chris, alongside the man of many pixels once again.
You know what, Chris? I can't believe they've only done it, the pro games this month.
They've only done it with the pro games.
DreamWorks Spirits Lucky's Big Adventure. We've been waiting for this for
Don't
a long
spoil
time.
the news. Don't spoil the news. I've personally been waiting for Lucky's Spirit. Was it DreamWorks Spirit Lucky's?
Spirits Lucky's Big Adventure.
Oh, it's such a terrible name and convention. Either way, we'll get to all that. But yes, I've been waiting for I've been shouting about this for 365 days, 500 days since the DreamWorks announced it. I've seen the movie. I've got all the collection on Blu-ray. Can't wait to play this game. But that's part of the news, and you're not here for that just yet because we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do and talk about. Thank you to everybody who is tuning in here in the chat today, because this episode is live. Unless you're watching it after the fact and it's not live anymore. You missed your chance. It was Saturday gone, where we streamed Stadia games all day long in the aid of the Alzheimer Society here in the UK. Thank you to everyone who has donated. Thank you to everyone who still can donate. I usually think the charity page is still for a little bit longer after the fact.
Yeah, we're not going to close it as soon as the stream's done. So
I don't think we can close it. I don't think that's in our power. But you are here for the Sounds of Stadia podcast. No matter how you get it, whether it's on youtube.com/Helix Cloud Games or it's out there on your podcast service of choice, we're here to bring you all of these Stadia and gaming news rounded up in a little ball, Richie, tightly compact ball. Maybe you have elastic bands that you can just unravel in your own time. Maybe use a pair of scissors. Ping! You get that little twang when they pop off and snap. You know what I'm talking about.
I've completely lost track of what you're talking about.
In the nugget of that elastic band ball is the juicy stories of the week. But we'll get to that. You'll get to that only by clicking like, subscribe to the channel, and click that bell so you're kept in the loop with all of our elastic band stories that we have here at Helix Cloud Games. It's going to be one of those days, Richie. It's going to start tired, delirious, and then it's going to maybe descend into drunkenness at some point with games.
Yeah. For context, I think you're probably similar to me. I got up, had my breakfast, got a shower, and now I'm here. I literally got out of bed about 9:30 to go start streaming at 11. I got up. I ordered a sausage and egg McMuffin because I really couldn't be asked to just have cereal today. Quickly went to the shops to get some Monster because I hadn't stocked up ahead of time. My fault. And then last night I was planning everything out for 4 hours or something, so just so everything could go smooth today. So we've got a fantastic show lined up for you this week. We're going to be talking about all of your October Pro games. It's the spookiest month of the year, and Stadia almost scared us with the October Pro games. We'll be diving into that. We've got games that have arrived, games that are not coming anymore. We've got release announcers, we've got new titles that have just dropped, we've got studios, we've got special offers, Richie, for people who want to buy Stadia games. They get more freebies. Just throw Premier Editions at them. You get a Premier Edition. You get a Premier Edition. You have to be on your toes with Stadia because you need to be able to dodge all these Premier Editions.
You really do.
Throwing at you.
You know that scene in Lord of the Rings when they go to they go to get the Undead King and all the skulls fall down? It's just Premier Editions washing over Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas, and they just have to escape.
What do you mean you only have 4 Chromecasts and the house that has 1 TV?
Yeah, it pretty much is exactly that. We've got some more game ratings and a certain company changing their name, or changing their brand, we should say again. But we'll get into all that because we've got a fantastic show. We're here with a live audience. I'm looking forward to it, Richie. Are you looking forward to it?
No.
Oh, well. Right, that's it, everyone. Good night. Thank you for stopping by. And yes, let's start the show off, Richie, as we usually do. By just checking in with the people and us. Let us know what you've been playing. Richie, what have you been playing this past week?
I said on last week's podcast, which is actually came out this week, so it's kind of weird.
Liar.
But I had an itch to play a bit of Persona.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
And I put about last night when I saved to go to bed about 2:30 in the morning, my save was up to about 40 hours. So
wow.
I've absolutely been binging it.
You're just cracking on with that then. Enjoying it?
Oh, very much so. You don't put 40 hours into a game in 1 week without enjoying it.
Some people do. It's called the grind. Some people just do it as their part-time job.
It kind of has that very easy, it's very easy approachable because you could just play because it works in a calendar system. So you could just play for a couple of days in game and then take you half an hour.
Yeah.
So it's easy, and then you can just save and bounce. But then it also has that kind of one more day about it.
Yeah, I've got Persona 4 Golden on the Vita. I remember I said when they told me they were going to close the shop down, the online shop front. So I bought it out of sheer panic that it's one of the best games on the Vita, and then I've just not had the time to go to it, but it just sits there waiting. This week, Richie, I've been playing a little bit of the pro games. Just had a quick look. Got to check out FIFA last night. Like I said, I wanted to make sure I was through the tutorial part before we streamed it later on for our first look for Soccer Saturday. And I've also still been playing Mass Effect. I think I'm nearing the end. Yeah. I'm nearing that precious platinum trophy as well. I've just got a few chapter beats. And I'll give you my thoughts on the whole trilogy once I've completed it.
You'll actually end up with 4, if I remember rightly. Won't you end up with 4 platinum trophies?
No,
isn't there one for each and one for the whole set?
No, there isn't a platinum if there's not a game attached. It's one of them Sony rules. So it's I think it's like a gold or something is the highest trophy. But there's also, you have to complete all 3 games on like insanity mode. And I don't have that patience, so I'll get the 3 for the game. But yeah, thoroughly enjoying it. I can see why it's such a beloved series. And it's got me really interested to see what they do next. But hopefully, Richie, we'll see them one day on Stadia in the cloud. But until that day, we'll stick it out with all of our Stadia news and gaming roundup. So then, folks, if you haven't done so already, do head over to justgiving.com/Helix Cloud Games and donate. We should point out as well, our stream is also in partnership with John Scar over at 4Scar Gaming as well. Hashtag Carrying the Clouds is what we're doing this week. And from pretty much now onwards, the entire Stadia community is streaming for a variety. Don't know why I said it like that. Variety of different charities. We're kicking things off, Richie. We're the first of the month, the second, to kick things off. Go check out those streams. John's got the link over on his Twitter page as well. We'll have it in our description. You'll see it on our Twitter feed. But there's going to be so much stuff going on throughout the month of October, leading up to Halloween and raising money for some really good causes. However, we are here today for episode 106 of the Sounds of Stadia podcast with our lovely live audience. Shout out to them. Clap, 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 clap. But Richie, we can only get to the news if you give us the rundown and introduction to the
Super Sexy Special Stadia story segment,
aka the news. Say it along at home, folks. The news. We did think about...
I like to think people do.
I think they do when they listen to it. They're mowing the lawn, they're driving along in the car on the daily commute, and they just like shout out. They put the window down, go, "Hey, person in
the..." They got the headphones. They got headphones in. They're sound the bus, and someone just the Super Sexy Special Stadia story segment, and everyone's like...
Well, I think they'd scare people more if they just shouted out the news bit.
Yeah.
What? Just out of nowhere.
Just like on a crowded bus or a train or something on the commute into work, and someone goes, "The news!"
Yeah, I could see that. Someone's at the traffic light, just put the window down. So someone stood with their pet dog or something at the side of the road. The news!
This is going to be a silly show, isn't it?
I mean, it kind of always is, to be fair. You got to get a bit silly sometimes. But we've got plenty of stories, so let's not delay. We've got an hour and a half slot here, Richie, so plenty of time. We will wind down the show and get back to our usual scheduled programming, in fact. Yeah, it's going to be one of those days. Kicking things off, Richie, with our October Pro games. We got a list, we got a community blog post, we got a drop. And everything starts with the savant over here. Last week, we said, what are our pro predictions? We tossed around the idea of a certain game. And I said, you know what? October's a spunky month.
Oh, God, what the hell?
Yeah, it might be for some people. It's a spooky month. Why can't I get my words out this morning? I'll have a quick
Probably because it's first thing in the morning.
Yeah, usually. And I don't have a live audience usually.
Yeah.
Either way, you enjoy your October however you want, ladies and gentlemen. But October is a spooky month, and I said, you know what's a perfect game? What's giving me those type of vibes? Control. That's right. Control is giving you that kind of month in any way you wish to enjoy it. From Remedy, of course, published by 505 Games. Control Ultimate Edition, in fact. We get the Ultimate Edition. I know I've moaned about that quite some time. Contains the main game and all previously released expansions, which I've not actually played yet. Even though on PlayStation I've got them, I own them. But remember, they annoyed me slightly. I'm going to try and keep my language okay because it's 11 in the morning. They annoyed me slightly by giving it away free, and then it dropped as PlayStation Plus, and now I've got it as part of Pro. So maybe I'll finally get around to checking out the Foundation and or DLC, which ties in with the Alan Wake universe.
You were really annoyed by Control, didn't you?
Yeah, because I paid full price and they just totally messed up. Chat, don't make that be a thing, please. Don't make that be a thing today. But yes, you are, of course, Jesse Faden in the Federal Bureau of Control, and you've got the power to stop the problems that are going on. The world is now your weapon in an epic fight to annihilate an ominous, in fact, enemy to the deep and unpredictable environments. Containment has failed. Humanity is at stake. Will you regain control? Of course, this is essentially the Ultimate Edition, so you're getting everything that's included. Third-person action story game with loads of weird stuff going on. This is one of my favourite games of the last few years. It caught me out of nowhere. I totally get with the vibe. The physics mechanics of this game are beautiful. You can destroy so many things in the room. Loads of different weapons. Absolutely love it. Richie, you've stopped and started on this title. Are you going to commit to this now?
I'm committed to completing it. I just don't know when.
Take control.
It's one of them games, I'll sit down, I'll play it, I'll really enjoy it for one evening, but it doesn't seem to get its hooks in me in the way, then the next day I just don't fancy playing it. I don't know what it is about it. It's objectively a phenomenal game. I do enjoy this game. It just hasn't really stuck this landing with me yet. I will keep chipping away at it.
You should.
It might take me a year, might take me 2, but I'll get to the end.
You should do it on stream. That'll make you commit to it. I won't put that one on you. But I think Control arrived in quite a quiet year. It was one of those kind of ones where we got all the big hitters, I think, the year prior, like God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, all dropped in 2018, and this was 2019, so it actually did really well for itself. And Remedy, of course, are working on a sequel. They're working on a multiplayer spin-off in line with Epic Games. I can't wait to see what they do, because it very, very much for me scratches that third-person action-adventure itch, where it's between Uncharted with the kind of the gunplay and the cover mechanics, but then you've also got the kind of crazy, wacky, wonderful stuff of having telekinesis and being able to pick objects up and fling them around.
I think that's the biggest appeal for me, is that it is kind of a unique game. I can't really pin too many other games that play the same way it is. Like everything it's done. Oh, well, maybe Psyops in the PlayStation 2, but it's a bit of a while ago.
It is. It's that's why I think I loved it so much, because it reminds me of Psyops on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
What's this one? So if I read from the back of this box, your mind, Richie, is the ultimate weapon. An elite American psy-operative soldier combat a terrorist movement using your extensive psychic telekinesis powers along with traditional military weapon combat. Mind drain, remote viewing, telekinesis, and pyrokinesis. That sounds different. Yeah, made by Midway. That's how long ago that was, but damn.
Midway don't exist
Midway.
anymore.
Midway Arcade? Is that a game or is that a publisher?
I think Midway are gone. I think
Midway.
They are.
Oh, rest in peace, Midway, if you are in fact gone. But yes, Control, Alan Wake. I do have the Alan Wake remaster on order, which I think comes out in like a week's time. It was actually quite cheap. I think it was only £25. So I thought, remastered, very highly rated game, never played before, similar to Mass Effect. I'm going through my back catalogue, just 10 years too late. With like a delayed, but then I'm getting them all in the best form in these remastered versions. So just like you can now, ladies and gentlemen, as part of your pro subscription, you get Control Ultimate Edition, which definitely gets my seal of approval.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, it outright pushes, I think, this month's pro games with Control alone into one of the best months we've had.
Yes, I would agree with that. Obviously brought down a little bit by some of the other titles, but we'll get into that in just a moment. And so check out Control. Definitely recommend it from me. Richie, you will complete it one day, and we'll be able to talk about one very specific moment in the game, which is just batshit crazy. It's so fun, it's so cool, and you just need to get to it before you can talk to me about it, really. Chat, you know what it's all about. But that's not it for our pro games for the month. You also get the wonderful, the beautiful, the stellar, potentially award-winning Game of the Year, DreamWorks Spirit, Lucky's Big Adventure. Richie, you've been waiting to ride as Lucky on a wild adventure with her faithful Mustang Spirit. You'll have lots of fun with Lucky's fearless best friends Abigail and Prue by your side. There's a wide open frontier to explore, full of exciting quests, animals and items to collect. You will navigate dangers like villainous horse wrangler Hendrix. Will you protect and find, Richie, the real treasure of Miradero? You tell me.
Personally, probably not.
Oh no, I'm playing the Control video game. That's not Spirit.
Yeah.
This one's Spirit. Everyone's thinking, God, the graphics in this Spirit Lucky's Big Adventure game look crazy. Almost like Red Dead Redemption 2. Not quite. I assume the game's fine. But there's some games that are just clearly not for you. You're not the target audience. You're not interested, and this is very much one of them. So, I think if you've got kids who are into DreamWorks Spirit, then they're probably going to have a good time with it. Yeah.
I don't really have much to say about it. The worst thing about it, though, is it needs a colon after the word Spirit.
Yes.
Because the movie, I think, is DreamWorks Spirit. That's the franchise, and the game is Lucky's Big Adventure.
Oh, I've just seen that on the video now. Yeah.
If you look at the way the title card looks, so they need a colon to separate them. That makes the title flow a bit better.
DreamWorks Spirit. Lucky's Big Adventure. Yeah, because at the time it's kind of, if you don't know who the characters are, now again we're getting a bit into it this way. I'm sure if you're a fan of the franchise, you know who they are and what they are. And if you've got children out there, our audience, and a lot of you are parents, 100% probably know. Yeah, it's on Netflix or Disney Plus. Or that's the one way on Disney. It's DreamWorks. But yes, it bugs me that they need to get DreamWorks at the start of everything. But then again, Disney puts Disney and Marvel put Marvel at the start of everything. So
yeah.
That's the world we live in now. Yes, I've seen a few people on Twitter joke about saying I thought Red Dead Redemption looked a bit better than this. But clearly, there's an audience out there for it. It's a great prototype from Outright Games, of course, for a wider audience. Go fill your boots with that one and ride on and see if you can, in fact, find the treasures of Miradero.
I think when we get games like this to Pro, we just have to remember sometimes that not every game is going to be for everyone. So I don't think this necessarily makes this a bad game Pro, or a good game. It's just like, are you interested in this game? And you're always going to get like that with things like Pro. You get it with PlayStation Plus, same with Game Pass. You're going to get games that you're just not interested in.
Yeah, 100%. And they're not for everyone. But you know what? You might enjoy it if you check it out. And next up, we also got Hello Engineer. Video wasn't working there. Yeah. Hello Engineer. It's the continuation of the expanded Hello Neighbor universe, Richie. The HCU, is that it? Hello Connected Universe? I don't know. We'll figure that one out. But yes, Hello Engineer is a multiplayer machinery building construction game. Did you get all that? Set in the Hello Neighbor universe, scavenge, craft, and overcome challenges in a sandbox world of a mysterious amusement park. Put together incredible machines, built of scrap, and beware of the neighbor. So it's a sandbox world, multiplayer, of course, still in early access, so kind of similar to Embr. You can check this one out, but the game's not fully out yet. You build contraptions similar to Minecraft in a way, and I guess that creepy neighbor guy is just hanging around to follow your plans still.
Yeah, I think from what I understand, you're in a theme park and he's roaming around and you have to try and escape by building things. Yeah,
and he builds some giant spider contraptions to catch you. We need to check this out because the problem with these Hello Neighbor games is that there's is there 4 of them now, right? Hello Neighbor 1, Hello Neighbor 2, Hello Engineer, and Hello...
There was a multiplayer one as well, isn't there?
Hello.
The asymmetric one.
Hello. Hello something?
I can't remember.
Chat will know.
There's a lot of them.
We have chat. Chat can help us out today. Yes, there are a lot of them. So, of course, this one takes a different pivot into a theme park, and now you can, in fact, build machines to help survive. It's essentially, this is the one that... No, it's not the one that's not like Dead by Daylight. That's the one I'm missing.
Hide and Seek and the Secret Neighbor.
And there's Hello Neighbor 2. So is there 5 games in this universe?
I think so.
Either way, the branding is very convoluted. We've mentioned it before on this podcast. What you going to do? But yes, interesting title. It's interesting again. We get them in early access, so we get them kind of like while they're still in the oven.
Yeah.
But we'll check that one out as well. I think we need to do a stream of it at some point. Now everybody has it as a pro game. We can all jump in together and figure out what this creepy neighbour guy is really up to.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to look into it.
But speaking of things that are still in the oven and in early access, the next pro game we got on the list is one of our favourites from our friends over at Coat Sync as well. T-Frog Games make this one, I think. Not Tree Frog. T-Frog. And that will be Kick Bash.
Love me a bit of Cake Bash.
Love a bit of Cake Bash. Fight to be the tastiest cake in Cake Bash, a frantic 4-player party game where adorable, drawn-to-life cakes beat the crumbs out of each other. Pick your favourite cake and battle in a variety of lifelike arenas with unique goals. Cover yourself in sweeties or hurl a fruit into a pie. There's plenty for everyone. Compete on the same screen, find challenges online, or battle well-baked bots. It's time to get out of the oven and into the fray. Now, Richie, we absolutely love Cake Bash. We've played it on the channel. We've played it with Tom. We're all really good at it, I'd like to say, by now. And it's perfect.
I wouldn't say I'm good at it.
It's perfectly in line with the Great British Bake Off, which is now back on our screens as well. If you're a fan of the Bake Off, it's 2 episodes in. I know you don't watch the Bake Off, Richie. I do. I watch it with my wife.
I watched one season of it many years ago, and then I just never went back.
Yeah, it's kind of... Especially because we get close to winter now, we sit down and have like apple crumble or something with it. We always have to have whatever the dessert is of the week. We have to have like that. So if it's like cake week, we have cake. If it's biscuit week, we have like cookies or something. It's our little thing that we do together. But
that's cool. Cake
Bash, folks. Weirdly enough, it is a pro game to claim this month. And for those watching along live, we do have a giveaway code. So if you're not a pro subscriber, you have your chance to win the game permanently, whether you have a pro subscription or not.
And we do have a cutscene block after this podcast, so will we be playing Cake Bash?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course we are.
Of course we are. We've just said how much we love it. We could not then play it. And then, final pro game of the week, wink wink, is another title that was announced as part of the community blog. This is where it gets a bit weird. This is where pro gets all spooky. I'll just reiterate, spooky is the word I'm using there. Unto the End is a handcrafted cinematic platformer about a desperate journey home. As the adventure unfolds, the decisions you can make carry consequences, not just for you, but also for the creatures you encounter. Mastery of combat is critical, but fighting isn't always the only way. Overcome adversity. Sometimes, I've misread that, be better achieved through sharpness and perception. Sometimes these things are wrote very complicatedly. Unforgiving terrain, face opponents, and paucity. What's paucity? I've never heard of that word before in my life. Have you?
I think it's like scarcity, like it's
Paucity.
The presence of something in only small or insufficient quantities or amounts.
Just say scarce then, or little supplies. Anyway, means of scant opportunities for respite through the suffocating gloom of frigid caverns and biting winds of harsh mountain peaks. Every step weighs heavy with a relentless struggle to make it home. That was a long description to not really describe what the game's about.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a side-scroller where you fight as a Viking against loads of other people. Looks cool. I know Tom was really interested.
When we first announced this, I think we all thought that this looks like a really cool game.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
But, folks, you're not getting it in October. I lied. Or more importantly, the Stadia Community blog lied. We didn't lie, no. So this is where it gets a bit weird and twisted for for the month of October. So yes, the community blog post that dropped this week had all of the pro games listed down on it.
3 days before the games come out, bear in mind.
Yeah.
Not like a week before.
Yeah, no, we don't give notice or roadmaps here. So yes, they showed like their lovely little like image animation with all the slightly off-skew what the rectangles. Why can't I think of the word for them, Richie? The shape's got
rhombus,
a name.
I think they're rhombus.
Either way, you know when you take a rectangle, you just like skew it to the side. It's that shape.
Yeah.
That shape, ladies and gentlemen. I do know this stuff. It's just my brain just isn't engaged. I can't.
It's a parallelogram.
Oh, I was going to say that, but then I thought, no, that sounds like too long of a word to say this early in the morning. Either way, they showed off those things. They showed off like FIFA, Control, and then Unto the End. So this was on Tuesday, right? Bear in mind, the first of the month was Friday. So you had, like I said, a few days. And within the pro game announcements, which weirdly enough, they didn't really talk that much about Control. The pro game announcement was like so thin on this blog, which is actually crazy. I can't believe it didn't get its own thing. This Friday, a whopping 5 games are added to the 30-plus game library pro titles. And then they focused in bold on DreamWorks Spirit Lucky's Big Adventure. And then, as you read through them all, it just says 3 additional games, Hello Engineer, Cake Bash, and Control Ultimate Edition. That's all Control got, just the title. Be sure to claim them. But weirdly enough, I think they've gone back since then, Richie, and they've got rid of Unto the End. It was in here, and now it's not. So I think they've done some cheeky editing their post in there. But either way, yeah, to follow up with all that, they then basically unceremoniously announced over on Twitter, they put out a post on September the 30th, so just before, mark your calendars, Stadians. Unto the End will now be coming to Stadia Pro on December the 10th. That's it.
Bumped it. They just bumped it.
Bumped it. So mere hours before the games go live, they bumped it. And I just kind of wanted to spend some time, Richie. Why do you think? Like, what happened behind the scenes for this to be so close to the wire to then say, actually, you can have it in December? Bear in mind, the game is already out on the platform. So it's not like the game's not ready to go. It's available to buy now.
I have my suspicions, but I think that might be our next topic for the show.
Okay. Feel free to theorise. Everyone knows the games that are out.
To be perfectly honest, it's not a good look if they haven't got the plans in line at this point. Like 2 days. They release the notification, go, yep, you're going to get until the end. 2 days later, they go, no, we're getting it in December. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look like they're in control of the situation. It looks like
Control Ultimate.
Yeah. They're not in Control Ultimate of the situation. It just seems a bit sloppy, whatever the reasons are. It's like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, because like within the space of a week, you've announced the games that are coming, which surely should have been agreed. And then you're taking it away, but it's almost the thing that gets me is it's almost like the manner in which it's done. So it's literally just edited from the blog. The image is still there, so it still says Unto the End Pro, which isn't technically not correct because you will be getting it in December. And then just like a tweet that just says, it doesn't say apologies for the miscommunication. It just says mark your calendar, it's coming December 10th. It's like, but a few days ago you told me I was getting it like this month.
Yeah.
So it's just, again, odd marketing beats.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something that they need. There might be very good reasons why they've had to pivot very quickly, but I doubt it's got anything to do with Unto the End in themselves, because, as you said, the game is already on the platform.
Yeah.
So it just makes me think of like they've decided, maybe they've looked. There's lots of reasons. Maybe they looked at December and go, "Oh, we need to push something into there," or maybe they decided, which I think is more likely, they brought something else forward that they maybe didn't expect to get.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, certainly. Again, Unto the End, it's one of the lesser titles for me this month, so it doesn't overly bother me. There's obviously so much wealth on display here with like Control and the next game we're going to talk about. It is almost a case of it might be better for the developers to bump to a quieter month. But if December from last year is anything to go by, we got 6 Pro games last December?
Yeah, I think if you look at the stats like produced by InLead, I think December was the biggest month in terms of value.
Or was it 6 and then we got like Cthulhu Saves Christmas like 20th of December or something, if I remember, like as a random stealth drop to say Merry Christmas, I guess. Interesting, but that's not it. So that's where Richie alluded to it secretly, even though everyone here, everyone in the chat, everyone watching, listening along at home knows that wasn't it for Pro, because this guy has been talking about this for well over a year now. Where I asked was the Mafia Definitive Edition. Of course, everybody knows it came out on consoles 25th of September 2020. It was teased by the 2K channels on Twitter on the 13th of May 2020. Well over 500 days ago now. I did say last week, Richie, I will not talk about this game anymore.
I know. I think they've done it a screw. Because like we said, like, we came on board, like, you know what? It's been up last week. It's been over a year since it's gone. We're not going to talk about it till it drops.
Till it drops. And it did in fact drop. And not only did it drop, it dropped on Pro. So not only have you got Control, Lucky, Cake Bash, not Unto the End just yet, Mafia 3 Definitive Edition has arrived as a cheeky little stealth drop on there. So it's the upgraded version, of course, the original release. It is the third in the series. It was ESRB raid, Richie. We've talked about this game to death now. Literally to death, to a point where we stopped. Well, we said we were going to stop acknowledging and talking about it. However, Richard. Family, power, respect. There's a lot we can delve into and talk about this particular subject matter.
We've talked about it to death anyway, so...
However, Richie, now I put it to rest and it's came back to the forefront through its own sheer will and determination to...
Sleeping with the fishes.
Sleeping with the fishes. This isn't it. Because they're missing 2/3 of the agreement. You've dropped the third game in the series as a stealth drop. Great, we finally got it. You dropped it as pro. Great, more people can play it. I have to stream the damn game now because I said to our audience, I'll promise to stream it if it comes to pro because I ain't buying it. I'm not using my hard-earned money to buy this game outright because they don't deserve it for the lack of communication. And I've seen yes, I understand it's here. Happy days, people can stop talking about it and move on. No, because we're missing 2 of the 3 promised titles. And we've got the third one. Great.
Yeah, that's the critical thing for me. It's not only that we're missing 2 of the titles, we're missing the first title. So the one that you'd want to play first.
Yeah.
Where is it? So we're still in the where's Mafia?
Where is Mafia Definitive Edition? We've got a third of it, which is great. We've got a third of it. So yeah. I will do a first look.
It'd be like watching Lord of the Rings, but starting with Return of the King.
I mean, you could give so many examples.
You've got to start with Fellowship.
I'd like to start with the beginning, and this is the kind of thing that's always bugged me, is that it's been so long and it's been out on other platforms, and I won't go into that all, even though I kind of am. But yeah, it's great. I'll be playing it as part of our stream. If you're watching this after the fact, the stream will be up as a first look. Go check it out. I'm sure I had a great time. I'm sure the game runs fantastically well because they've had over a year extra to polish this thing to get it out. It's again, Richie, it's all down to the manner in which it drops, and it wasn't on the community blog. Stadia didn't put out another blog post. It was literally on Twitter last night. So the game was already out for a whole day. And over on Twitter, and I quote from Stadia's Twitter account, we'd like to extend our congratulations to everyone who's been asking for Mafia game on Stadia. Your weekend is set. It's here, it's live, and you can play it right now with Stadia Pro. Kind of feel like that's a personal message to me. I almost read it as though it was in my DMs. However, is this just not a weird way how to announce things?
I think it's absolutely... I've said before, I hate the stealth drop thing. Like, a stealth drop is fine when you're not expecting it. So, like, suddenly you go, oh my god, this game I wasn't expecting come to the platform is here and it's now. That's good. But if everything's a stealth drop, the stealth drop loses its impact altogether. And I think it's very anti-consumer, to be honest. I've talked about this in the past where, like for myself, I'm a single person with a mortgage and stuff. I am into games. Gaming is an expensive hobby. I like to know what's coming up so I can plan what games I want to play. So I can decide what I'm going to purchase, because I just can't afford to buy everything I want to play. So it's like, when you stealth drop things, it's like, well, yeah, for example, if this wasn't a pro game and stealth dropped it, this might have been a hard pass because I just bought FIFA.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to do a first look, but at the same time, again, I've got no love for this title now. But in terms of the way you announce it, so bear in mind, 2K are the ones who teased this back in May 2020, and then obviously released on other platforms. We'd like to extend our congratulations to everyone who's been asking for Mafia. They're congratulating their audience for asking for a game that was teased over 500 days ago.
Well, a game that's been that was leaked by their ratings boards months and months and months ago. So we know that, like, it's been, when a game is like announced through a ratings board, a version of that game on that platform has been submitted to them for certification. Mm-hmm. So that's why we take it as a very good chance of, this game's probably coming. And I think pretty much every time we're seeing a ratings board leak, it's not even leaked, they just published it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a publicly accessible website, yeah.
Yeah, every time we've seen that before announcement, we've kind of gone, yep, that game's going to come, and it has. Yeah. So it's the silence around the Mafia trilogy I just don't get, because we know it's coming. Like, it's confirmed for the ESRB. That was actually back in March, according to Stadia source. Yeah,
it's a long time coming, but again, it's just the manner in which. So it's not in the blog post. I'm hoping this Tuesday there's kind of some concrete way of saying, like, oh, the game's out now, but I don't know, it just reads very odd that you would promote a brand new game on your service by saying you'd like to thank everyone who's been asking for it. Like, this is your public announcement that the title's available. Like, could you imagine PlayStation saying, we'd like to extend our congratulations to everyone who's been asking for insert this game? It just seems like an odd... Like, I appreciate that they're clearly messaging directly to the community who's been saying, like, you've been pestering us for so long. I'm guessing their hands are tied with 2K, maybe, and say, like, you're not allowed to proactively talk about this title until we're ready. But we'll never know, but we still have to wait for the second and first entries.
The rumours we've heard is the company that is doing the port, like, it's finished up, has had this for the last few months on their kind of, they're done list. This is the game that we've done. It's the way it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't know. I think it's pretty poor. And it makes me, I'd love to know, why wasn't this just part of the blog post? So this seems like in between the 28th and the 30th of September. So, like, literally, in 2 days, they went, okay, yeah, Mafia's not going to be there. And then suddenly, no, Mafia is going to be there.
Yeah.
Let's bump onto the end.
Yeah.
And it just... I feel a bit sorry, actually, for the guys working on the blog posts and stuff, because they're not the ones making this decision.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
So some guy, he sat there, he's put his time and his effort in to make that blog post, to be told probably the next day that, okay, actually, we're not getting onto the end isn't coming yet. That's going to be December. We're going Mafia again.
Yeah. Do you think then, Richie, we'll see...
Shoddy, in my opinion.
It's just, again, communication with your audience that we wait for the blog post.
Communication internally. I think
well, that as well, yeah.
Things like, yeah. Like,
what are the chances, Richie, that the whole Mafia trilogy has been sat ready to go since last September and someone just didn't open an email?
I don't know.
That's obviously just a joke on the side.
It's possible, but again, if that is the case, it is shoddy. I
Who
think
knows?
Stadia can do better. Google can do better.
Yeah, I mean, all parties involved could clearly do better. But we've got one. We've got the third. We've got the latest entry, which arguably should be the best looking game. We know one was made from the ground up, so that could give it some fight.
I expect one will probably be the best looking now because that was a remake, and the others I think are just remasters.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, do you think then, to wrap this up finally and move on from the world of Mafia, do you think we'll see 1 or 2 before Christmas?
I hope so. Like, again, like 3, we already know the port's done. Like,
yeah. Do I need to make a countdown for 1 and 2 now?
I think we don't.
No, I don't. No, that was a joke. I don't want to. I don't want to. And then final one. Then, do you think we'll see 1 and 2 as pro as well?
No.
Okay.
At least not straight away. Okay. Although it is possible that next month we get 1 and 2 both as pro. And maybe that's why they've held them off, held off or something.
Would have liked them in the reverse order. I would like to start with number 1 and then work my way through a story as it was written. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're connected in some way. I don't think 3 is that connected to 1 and 2 from what I've read, but I guess we'll find out when I do a first look. Available on the channel today or yesterday or last week, depending on when you're watching this. Right, Richie, let's move on from the Pro Tiles, and we've got a busy show, of course, part of our charity live stream. If you haven't done so already, do head over to justgiving.com/Helix Cloud Games, because we're raising money in support of dementia and Alzheimer's, support to find a cure for such a horrible disease. Just quickly having a glance over, Richie, we're almost halfway to our target for the day. Thank you to everyone who stopped in. Thank you everyone who's in the live chat right now. We can see you all. Thank you to everyone who's saying hello. We won't be going into questions until after the main show's wrapped up, just for
I am noting them as we go. Some of them will be pushing the side quests, others we might answer in between shows.
Terrific. So yes, we do obviously keep this show. It'll be going up on normal feed, so yes, we'll be keeping it nice and trim. Next up then, Richie, this one's also kooky and spooky. Hey, gets it. Addams Family. The Addams Family, of course, are back. They're back in cinemas, movie theaters near you sometime soon, which also means, in addition to that, you get Addams Family Mansion Mayhem. The kid-friendly title brings the CG version of the Addams Family to the gaming world for the first time after releasing the newest movie. I presume it's some kind of tie-in game. It's a 3D action-adventure platformer set in the world of the Addams Family, and it looks and reminds me very much of Medieval on PlayStation. There's not really much more to say about it. Who, Richie, is your favourite character from the Addams family to start things off?
Oh, it's got to be Cousin It.
Cousin It's quite. What about the Thing? That was always creepy as a
It's been a long time since I watched the Addams family.
Yeah.
And you know what? Today's the day I realised there's 2 D's in Addams.
I feel like I always knew that, but yeah, when it came to writing the notes for this show, I was like, is it 2 or is it not?
Yeah, when I first saw the show notes, I was like, has he just made a typo there?
No, it's Addam's family. Of course, yeah, they're kooky and the spooky. This new animated thing, is it from Outright Games?
Yes, Outright Games.
Is it? Yeah, Outright Games. I think just going to town.
This would be a perfect pro game for this month.
Yeah. We may still get it. You never know. You never quite know what happens with Stadia. However, yes, Addams Family Mansion Mayhem. Who else do I like? I really like Uncle Fester, but I feel like that's just because he was played by Christopher Lloyd, and for many, many years, I did not realise it was the same guy because he was bald in the Addams Family.
I just found that out now.
It's Doc Brown, Richie.
Yeah.
Is Uncle Fester.
Again, I haven't seen the Addams Family since I was a kid, so it's forgivable.
Yeah. It's forgivable indeed. It's such an odd movie anyway. Again, yeah, the game looks like medieval. It's adventure driven. It's up to 4 players, so it kind of reminds me of like a drop-in, drop-out Lego game at the same time.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of almost like a PS2 era game.
It's not the most graphically intense, but you know what? Yeah. Again, it's for that audience, younger audience. I'm sure.
A little overpriced for me as well, for $39.99.
Yeah, I'd have probably said $24.99 would have been the sweet spot.
Yeah, that would have been 20, 25 as well.
But it is day and date with all other platforms, so fill your boots. Go get your kooky and your spooky dins on, whatever you want to call that.
Go have a nap on a bed of nails.
Yes, that is what they get up to. Right then. So that's pro games, that's new games. Let's delve into some juicy news then we've got lined up. Square Enix and the development team over at People Can Fly have put out an update for Outriders, of course. Outriders, one of the games we got day and date, one of the AAA games we got day and date. That seems to have gone so quiet since launch. It's gone so quiet. It's surprising, actually. I know it wasn't a games as a service, but it's just, I've not heard a peep from it since probably about late spring. They put out a blog post update and confirmed that the State of Stadia, shout out to our friends over on the State of Stadia channel, no copyright infringement there, I'm sure. Stadia still need to be brought in line with other platforms with regards to fixes, bug resolutions, and crossplay support. Still no crossplay support. We are planning to complete this alignment with the upcoming big update that Outriders is planned to receive in the future. By a big update, in quotes, we do not mean a smaller patch, but significant changes across the board. The work it has taken to align Stadia to date means that such a bigger update is the best possible way to resolve the situation. We appreciate that this work is taking longer than we expected, and we do apologise for this. And that is it for Outriders.
So, reading between the lines of this, Outriders launched. It fell flat on its face. Everyone kind of bounced. So they've been scrambling to try and get the game up to standard, so to get people back in on all platforms. And unfortunately, Stadia's fallen by the wayside, which is why it needs a big update basically to catch up, because the team's been focused on changing the core concept of the game.
It's an interesting one, and it's certainly a messy one. And to give people a bit of context, the game launched day and date on the platform with Stadia. It had lots of bug issues at launch. It did not launch with crossplay, which was promised. I don't know if it was promised at launch, but you kind of assumed that when they promoted it with crossplay, everyone was thinking, this is terrific, I can play with everyone across loads of... In fact, I'm sure it was due to launch, because our friend Gary Ritchie was going to be getting it on PlayStation. I did the demo with him on PlayStation, and I said, well, I'll get it on Stadia and we'll check out crossplay. And then I never had the opportunity to do so clearly something was miscommunicated there. But either way, it came out in March.
Probably one of the things they're planning. Okay, we'll get that done in the first few month or two. But then the game's basically hit other issues. I don't fully know what the issues are because I haven't paid that much attention to it. The only time I ever hear talked about is, that's still waiting on patch dates, or still haven't got crossplay, or oh my god, do people actually play Outriders, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things. So there's obviously all the issues it had. It did sell millions of copies. It was, of course, available on Game Pass day one, so everyone who picked it up on Game Pass probably got the fill and then moved on. It's not a games as a service. Like, they did reiterate that many, many times. So, again, if it is a single-player campaign story, you can just play it with friends. You are going to play it and then move out. But, yeah, here we are in October, Richie. So many, many months detached from launch, and quite frankly, everyone I've seen on Twitter who has it on Stadia has basically just said that they've not heard anything from the devs. The support blog posts are just not detailed or good enough. Loads of people got refunds, even well after the fact they played more than 2 hours, and it was outside of that 2-week refund policy. They still got the refunds because clearly the game is a broken mess. We know People Can Fly didn't get their bonuses from Square Enix regarding sales numbers, so there was issues going on there. And to kind of reiterate the story, I've got another follow-up little segment of the story that the Outrider studio have also said they're now beginning to work on AA titles alongside AAA. So it almost seems like the studio is now starting to license themselves out to do work with other studios. It's almost like maybe to get some cash in the pockets, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about that the other week, weren't we? That's kind of our reading of it. See, this is the thing when Outriders comes into the news. It's not because it's never saying, they're dropping more content. It's more of a case of, people aren't getting paid, or the patch still no news on the patch. So it's like, it's a game. I actually kind of would like to see this game turn itself around, have a bit of a No Man's Sky redemption arc. Because I think I played the demo myself on PlayStation's, and I think there's a good game in there. It didn't really hook me at the time, so I was like, I'm going to see how it launches. 'Cause although I know it's not a games as a service, it kind of is.
We got really confused.
Any of these sort of games that are games as a service or very close to falling into that category, they usually have a few issues at launch. So there's a lot of times it's better to wait out a couple of weeks while they get the first few patches in line. That was kind of my plan. I was like, okay, I'm going to sit back and watch for a bit, because it wasn't like, oh my god, I need to play this immediately. And it just hasn't yet. But hopefully this big update will be the start of its redemption.
Well, is it too little too late though? I think the reality is People Can Fly have been caught out on Stadia specifically.
I think on Stadia, they've burnt a few bridges. I think there's a lot of people who won't go back to it because of the size. This is, again, it comes down to communication.
Yeah.
If they put this announcement out a few months back, people might have been a bit more lenient.
Yeah, again, I get from the developer standpoint they've got priorities, and we know Stadia because of the player base, no doubt, and stuff. It's always going to be bottom of the pile when it comes to prioritization. And if they're not even getting the funds from their publishing partner, then they probably are just panicking for how they're going to pay people, what their next project is. With game development is not an easy job. It's not a cheap job, and the price keeps going up and up and up. And online, or things that require servers cost money as well. And I totally get that, but it's just a shame when you see the updates basically just say, nothing's changed, we're well aware of the issues, but there's just basically sweet FA we can do about it at the moment. Please hang fire for the big update. We're sorry again.
Yeah, and you don't know what the conversations that People Can Fly are having with Square Enix either. I think they've put a lot of eggs in this one basket. It's went out there and people went, that's not what we want. We want a cake, and you give us eggs and flour. It's like, it's not done yet.
Make it yourself.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really do hope they get a No Man's Sky redemption, because
we'll see. We'll see. There's just so much to play though. That's the problem. I feel like if they've missed the boat now, I don't think they're going to be any Game of the Year conversations.
No, they're not going to get that. I don't think they'll get that. I think this was viewed as a potential new franchise, new AAA title that will be staying around for a while. I think now they're looking towards, if they can get people back in and get a sustained or smaller audience, then I think that's what we're looking at. Because remember, No Man's Sky was kind of like the next big thing in games, and although it has had a redemption, it's not to that level. It's kind of okay. Yeah, No Man's Sky is this thing that's still around in games. It's still going.
It did take 5 years.
That's what we can hope for.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Otherwise, they might just leave the IP and move on to do other things. We'll have to find out how that shakes out. Interestingly enough, now you think about it, I really enjoyed the demo, and now I'm getting to the end of playing Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
Outriders is very similar in terms of like your conversation choices, the over the shoulder action.
I think that's
crazy
one of the
characters.
reasons why people like kind of picked up on it. Is like it kind of got suddenly was like a lot of focus on. It's like, oh, this reminds me of something like Mass Effect.
Yeah. Crazy things, but we'll see. We don't have Mass Effect on the platform, so we'll have to see where that goes. But I'll tell you what we do have on the platform, Richie. FIFA 22 is available now. We pre-ordered it, and the reason I say we pre-ordered it especially because it links into the next story. Not only do we have Hypermotion next gen version of FIFA 22 and now available, we'll be playing it, or will have played it, as part of this weekend's charity stream. You've only played, Richie, the opening introduction to the game. I don't know about you, but I was very surprised to see Mr. David Beckham show up, Eric Cantona show up, and a few other famous faces. I was not expecting.
Beckham does have ties to PSG. I don't think, does Cantona have ties to PSG? I think he is a Parisian, but I don't think did he ever play for them?
Not to my knowledge. He might have managed them or something after the fact. But either way, the opening sequence to FIFA 22, I was not expecting like a mini story scenario where you essentially create your own character through like a little episode almost. I was not expecting it. For those who haven't checked it out, essentially you bump into a few famous footballers, you get a trial match at PSG, which, by the way, that does not happen in real life. I just point out, you do not just know somebody who gets you a trial with Kylian Mbappe and Thierry Henry.
A 25-year-old isn't having a trial with Kylian Mbappe and Thierry Henry at the Parc de France. That's just not, not how it works.
When you create your character, Richie, did you put your real date of birth in, or did you make yourself a bit younger?
I did. I put my real date of birth in.
I took 10 years off my age just because I thought a 32-year-old cannot rock up with Kylian Mbappe and Henry at PSG and get a trial or something for the club. But really interesting. You are basically shown the basics of the game through street football. You get to run through the streets of Paris and basically learn the pass and move and
it's kind of
jockey
like
mechanics
stuff, but it's giving you that introduction to the new mechanics.
A little bit of context.
Yeah.
Did you win?
One thing I do like is actually the fact that you do have that character creation thing, right? Kind of during like the intro, like story mode thing.
Yeah.
That means you can actually, when you start career mode, you can carry that character straight over.
Yeah.
Which means that every time you start career mode, you don't have to recreate your character, which will save me so much time.
Definitely. It is quite interesting. I did have a little chuckle to myself when you go into the create a character mode and the generic one you had the opening scenes for all of a sudden changes to a totally different human being. And the guy in the suit shop's like, you're looking sharp, and it's like, this is not the same guy who came into the shop 10 minutes ago, sir. And you just totally...
10 minutes ago, he was clean shaven.
Yeah,
now he's got full beard.
Very impressive. I actually ended up with the same outfit Beckham wore, like the exact same outfit. I don't know if that's a joke-in thing, that you end up wearing the same clothes. But yeah, blue suit, white t-shirt underneath it.
No, I didn't. I went for like a grey suit.
Wow. But so Beckham wasn't wearing the same one?
Beckham was wearing his like blue suit with like a white t-shirt.
That's so weird that I picked it. I almost looked exactly like him in my create a character mode. But either way, we digress. Richie, did you win your opening game, your opening match?
I did. I won 1-0, Lionel Messi in the 12th minute.
Ooh, in the 12th minute. I won 3-1. But we'll be talking about that. We'll be playing about that more later on. The reason I bring that story up is because the next story of the week is Stadia once again are giving away Premier Editions like there's no tomorrow. This time it comes in the form of, if you pre-order or purchase any game for over $59.99 US, or I believe in the UK it is £49.99, you get sent another Premier Edition for free. If you purchase a game or game bundle on the Stadia store between September 26th and 10th of October, or pre-order a game bundle on the above between those dates, you'll receive an email and a redemption code by October the 20th. You need to redeem it by November the 20th. Offers valid while supplies last. I'm sure supplies will last. It's valid in the US, UK, Ireland, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Sweden, Spain, Denmark, Finland, Norway, Austria and Switzerland. Not Canada, for some reason. Poor Canadians. Don't know why they miss out on that particular deal.
I've seen a few things like that with Canada. I've seen a few people complain that they're missing out on it, but...
Do you think it's like some kind of weird competition law? Like you're not allowed to give freebies away that's past a certain value? It just seems odd that it's Canada every time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, if you are thinking of buying a game, you're in with the money with another Premier Edition. That's another Chromecast Ultra for your house, Richie. That's another Premier Edition. And we should clarify, Stadia have mentioned that if you've got pre-orders, you'll receive one for that. So that's you and me getting one for our FIFA 22 pre-order. It's well past the value limit. Win-win. They've also said that because I've seen some people cancel their pre-order and put another pre-order in just to make sure it ticks past the date. I'm sure you'll be able to chase this up with the relevant teams if for whatever reason you did not receive it, but rest assured, I'm waiting, you're waiting, Richie, for FIFA. You've got Far Cry 6 comes out on the 7th. So you've actually got, if you're thinking about buying Far Cry, you'll be able to pick one up for that. I do want to clarify, though, for anyone out there who's sitting on your free £10 or $10 voucher, if your voucher takes you below the $59.99 or £50 threshold, you are not valid for the offer. So just bear that in mind. And there is a weird frustration to that, Richie. You can't opt out of using the voucher. So, yeah, if you buy the game for, say, the $60 entitled amount, you have a £10 voucher that you don't get to not apply. That takes you down to $50. You don't get the Premier Edition. You can't not use the voucher. So you're in like a weird catch-22 scenario where it's kind of like, thanks for the voucher, but I can't get the... Basically, you need to spend your voucher and then buy the game.
Yeah, I mean, these are workaround that I've just thought of, but you would lose your vouchers. Like, you could just buy the game, refund it, and then your voucher's used and gone, then you just buy the game again.
Yeah.
That should work, but then you're losing your £10 voucher.
Yeah. Weird thing where I think two promotions are just kind of clashing and no one thought to give the option to remove it. Either way, you're getting a free Premier Edition, so it's well worth the £10 expense of the voucher, in my opinion, just for the Chromecast Ultra alone. Richie, we've been telling our friends about this. If you want to play FIFA on the move, like I played it on my phone last night, and it looks so damn good as well.
Not even just on the move. If you're someone who doesn't want to fork out £400 to £500 for a new console because all they play every year is FIFA, this is your solution. Like, buy FIFA, get your free Premier Edition, you get your controller, you get your Chromecast, and you're good to go.
Yeah. But the great thing is with this promotion, I think, is we said before they need to shout from the rooftops about FIFA. So from what I've seen so far, it runs fantastically. It looks smooth. It looks a lot smoother than FIFA 21. The graphics look a lot sharper from the little bit I have played. And yeah, if you're looking to play this game anywhere and everywhere you possibly can, you've got that. Like I said, you've got Far Cry. Life is Strange only just came out a few weeks ago. So you've got quite a wealth of stuff to look at and purchase. I know there's some Destiny bundles. They have also clarified bundles do count. So if you're buying like a game bundle with DLC and it takes you... As long as you essentially pass that threshold, it looks like you're good.
If it's a single purchase over the threshold, you're good.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm not sure what it's like with your kind of Play Store credits. Like if you use that. That's the only thing I've not seen clarified yet. But I'd imagine it's still monetary value is equal to the cost. So
you can always hold off on just using the Play Store credits. So
that's true. That is true. But great to see. I just hope we see it advertised. I want to watch Match of the Day this weekend and see some promotion somewhere that says if you want to play FIFA 22, play it on the tech you already own and get a free controller as well.
We've just had a round of Champions League fixtures. What better place to promote it than there? But
we'll see. We'll have to see. Hopefully people get the word out though. Let's get some of these famous footballers to play the game and show the game off. Philly Boots, we're getting one, Richie. Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments if you're getting one and what game you're thinking of buying. Now, I'm going to be playing FIFA, Richie, predominantly on my big screen TV. However, if I want to play on that big screen TV using a different controller that I can't pair with my Chromecast, any idea how I would go about that, Richie?
Yeah. What you can do is you can use the new phone link features.
You certainly can. Thank you for that. Yes, we've got some new features drop on Stadia this week as well. A new feature is starting to roll out on Android devices, it looks like, and it's known as Phone Link. The ability to use your mobile device as a touchscreen gamepad on other devices other than your phone. So essentially, use your phone as a controller for the TV. But more importantly, you can use a bridge connection by plugging physically with a wire, with an old school cable, your controller into the phone, and it essentially uses your phone almost like a modem to connect to the the Chromecast.
Well, I've briefly tested this out actually this morning when I was reading the show notes. It's dead easy to do. You basically you press when you're in the Stadia app on your phone. you hit the controller button, and then you can just sync it to any Chromecast. It works on your PC as well, which is where I did it. I just synced my phone to PC, and then Stadia recognizes it as a Stadia controller.
Right.
So any controller that you connect to your phone, that will map. I think the way it'll work is if you plug the PlayStation controller into your phone will then map that to the Stadia controller, and then the phone tells Stadia what to do.
Nice and easy.
I haven't plugged a controller into it. I just use the touchscreen, but it seems to work.
Seems to work fine.
It's a really good solution, I think. And we've talked before, like me and you, we like a bit of Jackbox.
Yes.
From time to time.
Yes, we do.
Here you go. This is your solution for something like that. Especially with things like we've seen Direct Touch on Humankind.
Mm-hmm.
You add Direct Touch to this, and then suddenly everyone sat around one Chromecast with the phones in hand playing Jackbox. There you go, Stadia. That one's for free.
Get it in there. It's just a really good way to essentially just bridge that connection to the Chromecast Ultra. I've seen some videos of people testing it out. Seems like there's minimal latency, which we know, again, Stadia, from my experience, doesn't really suffer that much from latency anyway. But it's nice to know that a command prompt from a third-party controller being passed into your phone, which is then connected to the Chromecast on the TV, it works so seamlessly that you can play games with minimal lag. It's very impressive technology.
It's not a feature I'm personally ever going to use because at the moment I own 4 Stadia controllers.
You got another one on the way.
Got fifth one on the way. Like, I have enough controllers. I have so many controllers in my life right now. I don't know what to do.
Oh. But yeah, aside from that, I should probably point out there is a little issue with it, Richie, and I don't know if you probably won't have seen it in your brief time with it. You need to leave your phone screen on whilst you're using the controller. So if you lock your phone or leave the Stadia app at any point, the connection is lost.
Surely that can just be fixed by an app update.
Hopefully, yes, because it's going to drain the battery on your phone, it being just left on permanently. If you're getting notifications and stuff through, we all know, we all have our mobile phones, we all love them. It's kind of going to frustrate you a little bit not being able to back out. I mean, I don't have YouTube Premium, and when I close YouTube down and it stops playing the video, that bugs me anyway, when all I need to do is quickly check maybe a message that's came through or a notification and then get back to the video, and then another ad plays, and I know I just need to get YouTube Premium, but that's a different problem.
Music playlists using YouTube, so I should probably have YouTube Premium, so when I'm in the car...
Yeah, I will get YouTube Premium when Stadia Pro is bundled in with it.
I think YouTube Premium's overpriced, personally. That's the only reason I don't have it.
Indeed. But it's a great feature. It's another quality of life thing, and I think it goes a long way to just anyone who's new to the platform. It gives them the chance to kind of check it out, and if they don't have a controller, it's a way to get their foot in the door with their existing tech, and it works so quick and so seamlessly. You literally just need a cable to hook up to your phone. So plenty of stuff to be happening out there. That was only one of the features that rolled up this week, Richie, because we also got another tease, which I'm guessing this is all going to be part of some kind of big community blog. We've also got public parties. I saw people on Twitter start posting about this week. Public parties on Stadia are now supported. So essentially, when you jump into your app and you go to your friend list, there's an option that says public party. And you click on public party and it gives you a list of titles of games you can play. It says invite anyone, public parties are open to everyone, keep playing while people join your party, then invite them to the party to play. You select your game, you can put a description, so you can actually type a description title into it, and you can select how many additional players are needed. So like there's almost like a little survey you have to fill out before you open your party. And you go live and it just creates an open forum for people who I guess are in your friend list to just jump on and play. What do you think of that?
That's a useful feature. I never actually use the party chat systems in Stadia anyway, because usually I'm either playing single player games or we're playing like on stream with the community, which we use Discord. Yeah. So it's like it's one of them features. I think it's great for a lot of people. I see it all the time and things like, especially in the Facebook groups, people are going, "Is anyone playing this game?" It'd be great for that stuff like that, where you could just start a party and just go, "I'm playing this game. Here's a link to my party. Come join me."
Yeah, we know voice integration kind of needs those little bits of update before we really start to utilize it for everything. We very much, like you said, still use Discord for everything. But yeah, it's great. You can create a public party up to 10 people, and I think it's almost like it's a short-sighted way of fixing the online multiplayer issues, I think, that plague the platform to some degree. Where if you're struggling to find players, you just create an open forum for a very particular title, and people can search and go, okay, yeah, let's jump on with a public party.
I think it's a feature that it's not just a bandage over a problem. I think it does have legs as the platform continues to grow, gets more people involved. Especially a lot of people really like playing multiplayer games, but don't really know other people who play games.
Mm-hmm.
So for them, public parties are perfect because it should be such an easy way to go, I'm playing this game, search a list of public parties, there's one playing that game, let's go jump in with these guys.
Yeah, completely agree. The listed games as well, there's quite a few of them. We've got Ark Survival Evolved, Creator, Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, Far Cry 5, FIFA 21 and 22, Human Fall Flat, Humankind, Madden NFL 22, Marvel's Avengers, NBA 2K21, PUBG Battlegrounds, Red Dead Redemption 2, The Crew 2, The Division 2, The Elder Scrolls Online 1, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and Watch Dogs Legion. I still need to check out the zombie mode on Watch Dogs Legion.
I was going to ask you, I forgot about the zombie mode. It's like, isn't Watch Dogs Legion a single player game?
No, it has a full online thing. It was delayed at launch, and then they're slowly rolling out extra new features. But I feel like we'd have a lot of fun in the zombie mode. London, hacking tech, and killing zombies seems like a fun few hours to spend. But we'll get to that one day, I'm sure. Just like Discord and integration and stuff might come to Stadia in the future. But for now, we have public parties to satiate our party requirements and needs. Moving on to the next story of the week. Thank you everyone in the chat who's watching along live. We do see you. We do see your questions. Richie's taking any questions for our side quest show, which I believe is happening 2 p.m. this afternoon. We're going to break after the podcast. We're going to play some games with you wonderful people. We're going to give away some game codes. So if you want to be in with your chance to win, all you need to do is head over to justgiving.com/Helix Cloud Games. Drop a donation in there for our wonderful cause against Alzheimer's and dementia. That's what we're here for, streaming all day. Next story, Richie.
Yes.
Far Cry 6, as I mentioned, is imminently out. It arrives in just under a week on the 7th of October. If you pre-order it or buy it, you will even be sent a free Premier Edition as part of the aforementioned promotion. However, if you do buy it with the Season Pass, you may have received an email, if you've already pre-ordered, to inform you that Far Cry Blood Dragon will not be coming with the Season Pass as promised. An email that has been going out to customers recently, and I quote, says, "Dear Stadia player, thank you for pre-ordering the Far Cry 6 Season Pass, which is included in your Far Cry 6 bundle pre-order. We want to provide an update that Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon Classic Edition, which is included in the Season Pass, will not be available for Stadia until 2022. This does not impact the launch of Far Cry 6, which will still be available for you to play on October 7th, 2021. So, Richie, we have a date for Far Cry 6 Blood Dragon that is set in 2022. However, you won't be playing it anytime soon, it would appear, as it's been delayed just a week short of its official launch on the platform. Players, of course, been informed via email, so it's nice to know that they are getting a heads up for those who've pre-ordered. I can't imagine we're going to see this kind of information in a blog post. It looks like it's going to be kept very much to the individual who's pre-ordered the game. I hope the store page gets an update to let people know that it's included, but you won't be getting it yet. And yeah, it ain't coming soon. What are your thoughts on this one? Another DLC that's been delayed so close to launch.
You know me with delays. Every single time we get a delay, my answer's the same. It's like, I'm happy to see delays if the game is better when it comes out. I'd rather wait. So, and plus, it's not, you're still getting Far Cry 6 day and date. So this is something just to sweeten the deal, really. So yeah, I'm sure people can wait for it. I'm sure a few people who are upset, like I played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon back in the day, I can't wait to jump back in.
Me.
The game's still going to be there for you when it eventually comes. Probably early, hopefully early next year.
That is true. That is true. I actually forgot it was part of the season, Far Cry 6 Season Pass. I know we're getting the DLC stories with the villains, and I know we're getting some online stuff, but I totally forgot that it even came with Blood Dragon. it's just one of those things where if it's not available on the platform. My guess, Richie, is that also it's Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. It probably means some of the other Ubisoft titles maybe not coming as soon as we thought. You know, some of the other, I think... Is there another Assassin's Creed we're still waiting on? I feel like
it's possible. It's like it'll be different teams, so I wouldn't expect too many knock-on effects. Bear in mind, this is probably the same team that's working on Far Cry 6 and the DLC and the story and DLC stuff for Far Cry 6.
Yeah.
So it's like probably a case of they probably made a decision like we're not going to get all these done for launch. Something has to we have to bump something a bit. Blood Dragon's probably the decision, which again I'm okay with that. And the fact that they're communicating to people, pre-ordered it, explaining the situation, it's good.
Yeah, this
is good stuff here. Like,
yeah, there's part of me which is kind of like it's been promoted, is included for well on 4 or 5 months now. So then to cut it short a week before and say, oh, actually that extra paid content with your season pass you ain't getting until next year, which is still another 3 months away minimum. It's a little bit of so I've pre-ordered it on the pretense that I'm getting it, and you're telling me a week before launch I ain't getting it. I can say that's annoying, but you're totally right. You still get the main brand new shiny game with all bells and whistles to play.
Yeah.
But it is kind of that. It's similar to Resident Evil. We got Resident Evil Village, and then we were told actually Reverse isn't coming until next year, which is a whole 6-7 months later. But
and you know what?
These things happen.
If this comes out in say January to March time, you may have maybe have your fill of Far Cry this month, then you have a bit of a break. Then next year you suddenly get Blood Dragon. Oh, more Far Cry, he's a new game.
Yeah, indeed.
And
Blood Dragon's awesome as well, so it's well worth. I mean, I've waited since like 2007 or 8, whenever it came out for this game again. So
you've been telling me since 2007 or 8, whenever it came out, I need to play this.
Blood Dragon's great. Blood Dragon's fantastic. But anyway. While we wait for that, we do have some other games. We've had a rating for a title on Stadia. Next story of the week, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I hope I've pronounced that right. Is coming. I did. Wonderful. So relive the story of Goku and other Z fighters in the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Beyond the epic battles, experience life in the Dragon Ball Z world as you fight, fish, eat, and train with Goku, Gohan, Vegeta? What is that? Is that right? That's right. Wow, that sounds like a terrible name. And others. Experience the story of Dragon Ball. Play through iconic Dragon Ball Z battles on a scale unlike any other. Fight across vast battlefields. But don't just fight as Z fighters. Live like them. Richie, I am not a Dragon Ball Z kid. I was aware of it growing up, but it just something about it just never got its hooks in me. I was always
aware of it because I used to watch it.
Yeah, I was always watching Pokemon and other such things.
Still do, technically. Well, I don't at the moment because there isn't any new content coming out. But I did watch Dragon Ball Super, which is the most recent stories.
All right, okay. So I'll throw this one over to you then. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. What does it do for you? Give me the rundown of Dragon Ball Z. Why do they all go Super Saiyan and fight all the time in the air? What's the gist of Dragon Ball Z for those who are unaware?
That's kind of a big question. So Dragon Ball is one of the most renowned mangas of all time. So there's Dragon Ball Z, and now Dragon Ball Super. The original manga was Dragon Ball and covered what the anime split into Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And it follows Goku through his journeys. So the Dragon Balls are these 7 mystical balls spread across the world. When collected together, you can grant a wish. So the original stories were a bit more of an adventure of the young characters going to find these so they can get their wishes granted. But the later ones became a bit more battle heavy focused, which is where the Saiyans and stuff came into play. So Goku, the main character, doesn't know he's a Saiyan until the first story arc of Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
And that's when things start going off planet and get a bit more ridiculous.
Okay.
But yeah.
So this game, probably because of the whole manga influence thing, I'm getting big vibes of One Punch. Was it One Piece World Seeker? Sorry, not One Punch Man.
Yeah, well, One Piece World Seeker is a unique story. This is a retelling of the Dragon Ball Z arc, pretty much from start to finish, by the looks of it. Okay. So basically, what I grew up watching, I'll now be able to play.
Right. Okay. So it's kind of like the Pokemon. What are the ones they've just redone? I can't think of the name. When they redid Yellow into
Yeah,
well,
Yellow was always a bit more closer to the anime than...
telling the story of it. So what's a Kakarot then?
Kakarot is Goku's Saiyan name. Kakarot is Goku.
Right. Oh, well, there you go then. See
Vegeta is one of the first Saiyans that Goku ever meets. First one is his brother Raditz, and then he meets Vegeta. And Vegeta is originally a villain, becomes a good guy. The classic anime trope.
Right, okay.
Dragon Ball pretty much, I think, turned into a classic anime trope. But Vegeta always refers to Goku as Kakarot because he calls him by his Saiyan name.
Okay. All right, okay. I'm just happy I got the names right, pronunciations. But
you
wonderful.
I was surprised. I was waiting for you to scream.
It might just be years of like subconsciously being around it, and I've heard of it, and you see it everywhere. And again, it was always there alongside.
It's ingrained in pop. It's one of them. It's ingrained in pop culture.
Yeah, totally. So even without knowing it, you probably know of it and what it's about to some degree. Yeah. Terrific stuff. Then. Rated on Stadia, of course, so not too long. It did come out January 2020, so we are a little bit behind the times in terms of release, but that just means we've got a nice little port in the works for it, so hopefully not too much longer to wait for that one. No surprise. And of course, it is developed and published by Bandai Namco, which brings us on nicely to our next story, Richie. Bandai Namco, Camco Bandai, Namco Bandai, Camco, whatever you call it. They like to do a little bit of a rebrand over there at that team. And no such change now. Their new tagline is "Fun for all into the future," and they've decided that they don't like the colourful orange and red and yellow logo. They're going with a now, quite frankly, boring pink one. The new logo, as seen on the screen now, is essentially a pink speech bubble with the words Bandai Namco inside. It goes live on April 2022, so the 10th of the tax year. And I quote from their article, their press release, I should say, our current logo expresses the fusion of Bandai and Namco that was created when the two companies integrated. It will be replaced with a new logo that reflects our new purpose. All companies with Bandai Namco in their name will use this logo, and in principle, companies with and without Bandai Namco in their name will display the new group logo on all their products and services. This will enable us to bring together the value of our products, services, and labels under one logo and elevate the brand value of Bandai Namco Group in the global market. The new logo.
That's a lot of market. That's a lot of market to speak for. We changed our logo.
Yeah, and to wrap that one up, then they say the new logo's speech bubble motif, Fukudashi in Japanese, expresses the potential of the brand to connect with people around the world and inspire them with amazing ideas. The speech bubble also represents Japan's manga culture that has been so popular everywhere. The logo stands for our determination to communicate with fans worldwide, to connect you with our fans, and create entertainment unique to Bandai Namco. The magenta uses the motif colour not only represents diversity, but also creates a bright and fun impression and is easy to reproduce. I mean,
I actually like the new logo. I don't mind minimalist logos like that with just that splash of colour. But they're saying a lot of words, which means which ultimately comes down to, we decided we wanted to change our logo and we like the colour magenta.
Yeah, I personally, I don't think a colour can represent diversity. It's just a colour.
Well, diversity is usually represented by a rainbow. Like we kind of have, it's literally a spectrum of colours. That's kind of the point between the rainbow logos.
It's just, it's like you've took 3 paragraphs to basically say, I know they have to do this, they have to explain like shareholders and stuff like why they're really doing it. It comes in different forms as well. There's like the one with the catchphrase underneath, which is "Fun for all into the future," which is
that's great.
Yeah, I don't like how the "all" has got a capital on it as well, like mid sentence.
Yeah.
Fun, but either way, and then there's like a landscape portrait version of it. Yeah, it's there. We've done a rebrand on the channel ourselves.
You know what?
It needs to be done.
That feels like they've got 2 slogans, an argument over them. So one team's gone, we want it's fun for all, and the other guy's not, into the future, and just go, let's just put both together.
Let's just get both of them on there as well. But terrific. That is Bandai Namco's update. all talked about and dusted. A few little stories just to wrap out the week, Richie. The Grand Theft Auto trilogy we did cover on the channel a few weeks back. Of course, that is Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City and San Andreas was rumoured to be remastered for the platform. It has had a published rating in the South Korean ratings board as coming soon. So I don't know about you, Richie, but these seem like an absolute shoe-in now. These rumours. Yeah. There's too much smoke without fire for my liking on this one.
I'm still hoping we'll get the next gen version of Grand Theft Auto 5.
Possibly.
That would interest me more than as much as I do want to play Vice City again.
Yeah.
I think getting the next gen version of Grand Theft Auto 5 will kind of go, oh, we waited, and this is why we waited. We waited for the next gen version.
Yeah, to kind of push. Yeah, because they got delayed until next year. So there is that hope. There is that hope if we get these three.
We're going to have to do a first look at Vice City, aren't we?
Oh yeah, of course we are. I haven't
played Vice City. I don't even care too much about the other two, but I do want to play Vice City.
We'll see.
We'll have to turn the soundtrack off.
Yeah, I mean, we could always just take the hit.
Yeah,
it's just dawned on me now that we just played the Dragon Ball Z trailer, and Bandai Namco are terrible for copyright strikes against footage. I left the Grand Theft Auto stuff out because Take Two are the same. I hope I haven't it happens either way. We're here for charity today, folks.
Yeah.
Final story of the week. We have an update from both Embr and Phoenix Point. So our friends over at Stadia Source wrap this one up nicely. Embr, of course, just had a massive patch update with new districts, new game modes, and new mutator missions added in with cross-platform play on Steam and the console versions. They did tweet out at the time of launch on other platforms saying the Stadia version will be a little bit delayed, but it will be here very, very shortly. And it appears, in fact, that shortly is now. So the updates are out, new game modes, new ways to play, and we should probably jump back into Embr some point in the near future, Richie, because we had a great time when we played it with Tom not too long ago. And I'm interested to see what the updates are.
It's a really fun game.
It is a really fun game. It's nice to see that's doing well out there on other platforms too. I've seen a few other people play it. And wrapping up on this one as well, then Phoenix Point from October 1st is also getting updated. It's called the Corrupted Horizons expansion. It's going to add new threats and new enemies for you to fight and complete as part of the DLC too. And it's been inspired by War of the Worlds. So there's some interesting stuff looking like the Martians coming down to find out that one too. Other than that, Richie, the final story of the week, just to wrap things up, is as we are in the month of Halloween and it's getting spooky, I don't know if you've noticed it, but the Stadia Twitter account, or the social feeds we should say, has gone all spooky for Halloween. So we've got the logos rebranded. I mean, it's still the same logo, it's just rebranded on a spooky forest in the fog kind of thing in early morning time. And their name over on Twitter has changed to Scaredia. So we probably have to rebrand as the Sounds of Scaredia podcasts for the month of October by the looks of it. It's nice to see when social media teams get in on this kind of stuff, get in on the action, celebrate, and of course America or the United States of America in fact, just go crazy for Halloween.
Yeah, we need to workshop our own Helix Cloud games to get like a Halloween theme in there.
Well, how would that even work? Helix, there's nothing really that plays on words for that one. But we'll see, we'll have a think about it. Let us know in the chat, let us know in the comments if you come up with anything worthy of a Twitter handle change for the month of October. But Richie, that has been everybody's Stadia and gaming news for the week for episode 106 of the podcast. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you are tuning in, if you're watching along, if you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to give us a like, click that subscribe button, and click that bell as well so you're kept in the loop with all of the things we do here at Sounds of Stadia, because not only do we do a weekly Stadia podcast, we also do a weekly topical side quest show where we go off the beaten path and discuss a deeper Stadia topic a little bit more in depth, which we'll be doing this week live with an audience. We've got loads of questions. You've been collating them as the show's been going on, Richie, so anyone in the chat, we've got a nice list to go through. You've probably heard him tapping away. We also do live streams alongside first looks. This day in particular, we're going to have a first look of Mafia 3 because I promised you it all. It because it came to Pro. We'll also be looking at FIFA 22 for the first time and challenging people in the community to a match and see how they fare on the beautiful field of dreams as it is. Anything you'd like to add for the end of the podcast before we wrap up?
Just remember, we are doing this for charity, so head over to justgiving.com/Helix Cloud Games. And I have seen a few other people actually drop super chats. Again, when I'm repeating this throughout the day every time I see one, but thank you very much for the support. But with River today, instead of you giving us when you threw a super chat, to go to our Just Giving page and donate to charity.
Indeed. And a special shout out as well while we are here to all of the wonderful members, part of the Helix Cloud Games membership club. Over 50 of you out there support the channel that extra bit more. It helps us just be creative, but like Richie said, as of today, thank you to all the members, but we'd appreciate if you would head over to justgiving.com/Helix Cloud Games and drop some donations in there for the Alzheimer Society as we fight to raise money and awareness to rid the world of dementia and Alzheimer's. But that has been it for episode 106. Thank you to everyone who's listened along on YouTube, who's watched along live, who listens to us on the podcast services. You all have a great, fantastic week. And remember, play wherever makes you the happiest. My name's been Chris.
I've been Richie.
We've been Sounds of Stadia from Helix Cloud Games. Have a great week. See you all soon.